What is going on, Slumpbusters? This is your boy Kyle, and we are here with another YouTube quick hitter. In one of our previous, we talked about the Jonas Valanciunas trade to the Pelicans and how it was kind of a move that a team makes in desperation, but in exchange, they sent a first-round pick over to the Grizzlies, as well as Steven Adams and Eric Bledsoe. And on Sunday, the Memphis Grizzlies completed their part of the deal in flipping Eric Bledsoe to the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers sent Patrick Beverly, Rajon Rondo, two of the most colorful figures in the NBA, and second-round pick Daniel Otoro over to the Memphis Grizzlies. So this deal was kind of out of nowhere and weird and has some names that kind of pop off the screen, but ultimately didn't really lead to that much for either team. We've talked before on both the Take It Easy podcast and on the Slumpbuster about the desperation of the Clippers. The Clippers kind of find themselves in a difficult place where they are cap-strapped going into the next few seasons. They are looking at Marcus Morris having $16 million a year for the next 3 years. Luke Kennard has $16 million a year for the next 3 years. And of course, the now supermax contracts of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, trying to balance out that roster. It's going to take up most of their available cap space. The Beverly and Rondo trades were more to match salary than anything else to get Eric Bledsoe, who has obviously been on great teams. The Milwaukee Bucks went to the conference finals with him a couple times. And the biggest part that changed for Eric Bledsoe was that out of nowhere, he kind of just forgot how to shoot. His numbers went way down after his final season in Milwaukee. He was a detriment to them in the playoffs and then ended up being just as poor with the New Orleans Pelicans last year while still averaging about 18 points a game. Bledsoe now becomes starting point guard on the Clippers, even though Paul George will probably end up being the primary ball handler. And the Clippers kind of just needed to do something to shake it up. I mean, other than that, they brought in Justice Winslow, which obviously helps, but the Clippers don't have that much available cap space or draft picks at this point. They went all in on acquiring Kawhi Leonard, acquiring Paul George, and going all in on these last 2 seasons, that their hopes for improvement come from Terrence Mann just getting better at this point. And Eric Bledsoe probably makes them better. Patrick Beverly had kind of become a non-factor, and in fact, he was sitting out in the playoffs a lot of the time because he was just such a liability offensively. And Rajon Rondo was a nice piece that they got for Lou Williams, and this now officially concludes this era of Clippers basketball where after they traded Chris Paul, they got Lou Williams, Patrick Beverly, Montrezl Harrell, a draft pick they ended up flipping later, and so all of those pieces are now gone. They've retooled around Kawhi Leonard. They're going into a year where they won't have Kawhi Leonard for most of the year, but still have Paul George sitting there and some of the other pieces that we saw make the conference finals last year, even in Kawhi Leonard's absence. So does the Eric Bledsoe trade make the Clippers better? Possibly. We'll find out later on, considering that it depends on your opinions of Patrick Beverly before, which obviously people's opinions of Patrick Beverly go up and down very rapidly based on what antics Patrick Beverly is on and whether or not people want to get angry at Patrick Beverly for kind of being an instigator when it's kind of his job to make you pissed off. So depending on that, it improves or doesn't improve the Los Angeles Clippers. From the Memphis side of things, I don't think they were going to play Eric Bledsoe anyways. Maybe they'll play Patrick Beverly now. He'll compete with Tyus Jones for the starting job, and I don't feel like analyzing Tyus Jones tape here in the next 20 seconds. So I'll say that for the Memphis Grizzlies, they were starting with nothing because they had no intentions of keeping Eric Bledsoe, and they walk away potentially with Daniel Otoro as the one key piece that they will keep deep into the season. I assume Rajon Rondo will get flipped before he ever steps into a Memphis Grizzly uniform. Beverly probably plays for them, but doesn't actually play that many minutes. Make sure to check out the Slumpbuster podcast. We have episode 104 out now, as well as checking out the Caveman Coffee Co. And you can use the promo code SLUMP with the link in the description to this episode to get a nice deal on your coffee coming up here. It's actually pretty good coffee, so I would recommend you check that out.